Hello everybody, welcome to Another Man's Nostalgia, where we revisit everybody's favorite shows, movies, and games from the mid-90s to mid-2000s. Don't worry, we will take the bullet. John, why don't you tell us what bullet we took this week?
My show was Dragon Ball Z. It was my favorite show growing up when I was little.
Oh god.
It was awesome.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, come get me. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, Ball Z. Dragon, come get me. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, come get me.
When it came to like the show, I liked the action figures that it had.
I hate to interrupt.
Huh?
I hate to interrupt.
Oh my god, what?
I'm going to turn down me and John's mic, and Justin, you're going to sing the theme to Dragon Ball Z.
you
I am not singing the theme of Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball! Something like that?
It's Dragon! What's the Dragon? Dragon Ball Z!
Thank you.
It's like a...
Alright, hey, I got an
You wanted this.
I got an interesting thing about that.
back to
People
John.
from like other regions, they didn't get that theme song.
So there really was a theme, because...
There was so the one we watched, there was any theme
Okay.
that
That was
had.
the most disappointing part of all this.
Yeah, it
Not
kinda
really.
was, honestly. I love that theme
Is the
song.
theme
honestly.
cool?
Dragon, yeah, I like
That
the
was
theme
not the most disappointing thing.
song. Whatever. But every single region that it got dubbed in, it had a different theme song. So
Oh, that's
like
interesting.
Canada, Australia, like they all had different theme songs. So
That's
we
interesting.
had the Dragon, whatever.
I did look up the
But-
Japanese one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Japanese one had the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did Dragon Ball Z. It was my favorite show growing up when I was little. I had all the action figures. I really did like the story when it came to like the character development.
There was
I
a
liked-
story?
There was a great story. I don't know what you're talking about, Justin. It was great. So I love the story. I love the action scenes. I love the fights, everything like that. I love the transformations when it came to... we didn't get to see them because we only watched the Saiyan Saga. But when it came to the transformations, when it came to Frieza and Cell and
So that's
even the Super Saiyans.
a later season?
So
Yeah, it's like Frieza
Okay.
Saga and then the Cell Saga and different things like that. You see all the different transformations when it comes to all the different characters.
So
And-
basically, I'm just gonna go on YouTube and watch all these
Shut up,
because I
Justin.
don't know
I don't
how
want
I don't know how I'll be able to sit through any more of what I just already
It was
did.
great. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so I guess I'm going to give you a little bit of history about Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, these are your fun facts.
This is my fun facts.
The fun
about
fact
Dragon Ball.
section of
Yeah.
the podcast. Good.
All right, we're gonna work with that. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna workshop it.
That's not going to be our
together.
theme. But
We're gonna work. We're gonna
It's
workshop
okay.
that.
All right.
All right, so Dragon Ball, like the franchise, because it's called the Dragon Ball franchise because you have Dragon Ball, you have Dragon Ball Z, you have Dragon Ball GT, and you have Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball GT wasn't really a part of like the storyline.
So that was
but
the really
still-
smarter one.
what?
The Dragon Ball GT. That was the really smarter one. No,
I don't know.
Gifted and Talented.
Ah!
Okay, we're gonna edit that joke out.
Nope, keep it in.
Oh, we're gonna put laugh tracks behind it.
I'll put a laugh
You
track
didn't see
behind
me,
it.
but I just looked at you,
That
Justin.
that obviously
I'll put a laugh track
It didn't
behind
land. It didn't land real well.
y'all laid out on me there. Come on.
All right, so
Okay, so the problem is that me and John were not in the GT program, so we did not know what that meant.
Neither was I.
Okay.
we'll start with the manga. So the Dragon Ball manga started in like 1884.
1884.
I'm sorry, 1984. It was 150 years. No.
Yeah, you definitely weren't gifted and talented. Okay, for everyone here,
that was a good shot.
he's actually still reading off his iPad, so he had to
Yeah, I
read
am.
that, and he still got it
Did
wrong.
you write 1884?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
He read that and still got
All
it
right,
wrong.
so the manga started in 1984. And that's when kind of the franchise started.
A manga, for anybody who doesn't know.
A manga is like a Japanese comic book. It's more kind of aimed towards adults more than children.
So it's like an anime, and then they make an anime. I'm sorry, it's a manga, and then they make an anime, which is like the cartoon.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the two. Okay.
Yeah. So the manga started in 1984. The franchise was created by a guy named Toriyama, and he made all the franchise when it came to the mangas. So he wrote the manga when it came to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and then just the regular Dragon Ball.
So if I was to go and find these books, it'd be the same thing as watching the TV show.
Well, that's the difference between the manga and the TV show, because the TV show has fillers. And the reason why it has fillers is because that they were going side by side when it came to the manga and the TV show, but the TV show eventually caught up to the manga storyline, and when it catches up to the manga storyline, you don't really have any other story, so you have to kind of make up your own story when it comes to the TV.
So I could sleep through print and video if I wanted to.
All right, so let me. Okay,
that was great.
Let me interrupt while we've in between your fun facts, because you have a lot. I saw your list, and it's a lot.
I have a bunch.
It's a lot of fun facts. Okay, so Dragon Ball was first.
Dragon Ball was first. You didn't see Dragon Ball.
But you didn't watch that.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, I watched.
But Dragon Ball Z
I watched
is better?
everything. Huh?
Dragon Ball Z is better
Yes. Oh God, yes.
because
I'm so glad I didn't watch Dragon Ball then.
Okay.
because I was very confused
And yeah.
and I think a lot of it is from Dragon Ball. Okay.
So when you start off, we started off 5 years after Dragon Ball ended, and at the very end of Dragon Ball, well, let's start off what Dragon Ball is. Dragon Ball goes through Goku's childhood, and then at the very end of Dragon Ball,
Oh, that
you
sounds
see.
boring.
Yeah, it kind of is, and it's
Does he
it's
have-
a really weird show.
Does he have the whiny voice that Gohan has in this one? His son?
Daddy. No, yeah, he does.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, he does. And okay, so interesting fact: the same lady that
Fun facts!
there's a lady that does the voice of Goku all through the whole entire series. So she does him as when he's a kid, when he's an adult, and
Goku's voice was a girl?
Yeah. So in Japan, Goku's voice and a lot of Japanese animes, they're voiced by women. Like Naruto, he's voiced by a woman.
Who's
I
Naruto?
have no idea what that is.
Really?
No idea.
You don't know who Naruto is?
No.
Wait, that's the bald one. The little
No,
bald one.
I'm talking about another anime.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
No, you're thinking One Punch Man.
No, I'm thinking of the
You're thinking of Krillin.
Krillin. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, Krillin.
All right. Sorry. All right.
Alright, so at the very end of Dragon Ball, you end with Goku getting married to Chi-Chi, and then he defeating
Chi-Chi was
Piccolo.
annoying.
Chi-Chi is
There's a lot of annoying people.
She's really annoying through
You're
whole entire.
Okay, and
You're gonna say that a
Z.
lot.
And I assumed in Dragon Ball that Piccolo was the villain.
Yeah, so
Okay.
in Dragon Ball Z, kind of Piccolo, at the very beginning, he starts to become good. Eventually, he does become one of the allies of the Z Fighters. But
The Z Fighters?
they're called the Z Fighters.
The ones in this show.
The ones, yeah, so
Okay.
Goku, Vegeta, Krillin,
Wait,
Yamcha.
okay. But
Tien.
Vegeta is a bad person.
In this
season.
in this
Okay.
season, Vegeta's a bad
They
person.
all become good eventually.
Well, the villains in this season, yes, they all become good.
And Piccolo in
And
Dragon
Piccolo become
Okay.
good too. I know it's confusing.
Ball. Alright. Alright.
Alright.
Let's not do all the fun facts. Let's just start talking about
Okay,
it.
that's
And then when
fine.
they come up
That's fine.
organically.
That's fine.
Because I'm holding back.
That's fine. It's okay.
So let me tell you a
what
little
you
bit.
guys think of? Can I tell you what I thought of the show?
Yeah, tell me. Okay, before we go into full overall review, tell me
Yeah.
what you thought. Your start of the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any initial reactions to what you remember it being like and what it actually was like?
Yeah. Gohan was so annoying.
Yeah.
He was I didn't remember him being that whiny, that I don't know, just over the top, just babyish. So that kind of threw me off a little bit.
He's
But
4 years old, right, in this.
I know he is.
Which
and
is-
He's 4 years
Which is
old.
another
he
issue.
is.
I'm gonna
I think
get
he's
to that.
5.
Okay, I'm going to get to that, because
Still.
that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some BS in this show.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. That's what I really didn't
Okay.
like about this saga was Gohan. And later
He gets
on,
better.
later on, Gohan is my favorite character.
He gets better later on in the season. Like, honestly.
Well, yeah, like when he's fighting Vegeta at the very end of the saga, I like him a lot. Like, that's the Gohan I remember.
Uh-huh.
But again, the last time I watched this I was maybe 12.
Which makes sense because he is a 5-year-old. He hasn't fought because his mom is trying to make him into a nerd.
Right.
So he's never fought before. He's never trained.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
of
his
course
mom
he's
babies
gonna.
him a lot.
So of course he's gonna be whiny, but it doesn't mean I don't have to like him at that point. I have to like him.
Justin, what was your initial reaction?
So I watched this on and off as a kid. I caught it on Toonami when that came out on Cartoon Network. And all I remember, I guess on Toonami, I only caught the good episodes when they were actually fighting. Because, oh my goodness, I could not stand all the episodes. Like when you showed me the pictures
All the episodes.
with filler. Like even the ones you told me that were canon, I felt they were filler.
Thank God you showed me that. And I'll tell you my
The
example.
website about the filler
There was
episodes?
you put you gave us one that said like these are the canon episodes that you have to watch and these are the filler. And I'll get into my example later of like when I realized like we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But possibly the slowest show I've ever seen in my life. All right. So first episode, Justin.
I was like, what is this? Where's the fighting? Where is the cool Goku?
Right.
Where's this cool Gohan? They're all so annoying at this point. And as I'm going through the season, every single episode just seems like filler to me except when they're fighting. And their decisions when they fight are completely terrible. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
So
Like when it first aired, it was in 1989, and so it's like a early 90s, like late 80s show.
But you could still make a serial show that is not that slow, because if I remember when we were kids, a lot of the shows came on every day, like cartoons and everything. They weren't serial. This is the first show I remember that actually you had to follow week by week. A lot.
you kind of had to.
I liked it because it developed the characters like storyline, and when it comes to like the filler episodes that it has, a lot of it is like storyline when it comes to kind of telling the backstory of like Goku or Gohan.
The problem with the filler episodes is I like to use Avatar: The Last Airbender as a great example of using filler episodes to build a character. Like, my favorite filler episode of Avatar is the Secret Tunnel episode.
No, it's the worst episode.
No,
We'll watch Airbender at
that's
some
my
point.
favorite. Okay, but they're filler episodes, like when Aang goes to the Fire Nation school.
Yeah, that was a
Okay,
good episode.
it fills out the world. Not only just the characters, but it's world building. So it doesn't have nothing to do with the main storyline, but it world builds. There was nothing in any of these episodes that I saw was world building.
Well, you got to think of Airbender. Like, it had all these shows to kind of look back on and say, "Hey, this is what we have to
that's
fix." This was like one of the first shows that like came out that started kind of like the filler episodes, where they were trying to go along with the manga, but eventually you catch up to the manga and you have to.
But that's the problem. You have a manga to come back to, and you have the creator to talk to. So. Yeah, the filler episodes. I get that there's going to be filler. You can't have all plot line.
There was
shows.
12 pages to each manga, and they had to make a 25-minute show.
Yeah.
But it was just terrible, the filler episodes, because I watched a couple of them, especially in the late teens where he's on Snake Way. Like
so
when he's with the snake thing and then the two devil things. I think he falls off. I can't remember. I was like, what is this? What is this ad? What does this tell me different about Goku?
So
Yeah.
let me tell you my initial reaction.
Okay.
Because I'm the one that never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
All right.
Like, and I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Never had a toy. So I went into this like real fresh.
Yeah, you saw Nimbus, which is a flying.
Okay, I wrote that down.
A flying cloud.
Which I have a question about as to later he can fly. So why is he in the flying cloud? But we'll get to that.
Okay.
But, so I could not figure... Okay, so the very first thing that caught my eye was the crotch shot. I think you all saw the crotch shot when...
Saw the crotch shot.
What was his name? Raditz?
Yeah.
Raditz comes out. The first thing you see is his crotch, and they sit on it a very long time. And it's not like they're zooming up, because they do that later to the exact same effect. But it's literally just a crotch shot. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And then there's a kid with a tail. No explanation as to why he had a tail. They did explain
But
later.
It did, yeah.
To its credit, explained it later. And then there's a guy who rides a cloud and karate chops a tree down. Again, no explanation. I didn't even know it was his son. I learned more in the narration in the second episode about the first episode than I could even catch. Like, they said all the names and everything. And then the second who is this show made for? Is it made for kids?
All right, so the show.
There's blood,
okay, so yeah.
and there's a creepy old man who squeezes a girl's boob in the second episode.
And she has blue hair, and I don't know why.
So the manga is, again, mangas are for like more adults.
Okay,
and this show is kind of aimed towards more kids. We saw like the uncut version. The Cartoon Network version that kind of made this show very popular was very censored.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't have a lot of like that blood. It didn't have like a lot of the
creepy old man.
There was like so when it came to the ogres, did you guys notice like what it said on the shirts?
Oh, they were ogres? I thought they were devils.
No,
because
they
he
were
was
ogres.
dead.
I didn't watch that episode.
I wish they could.
Okay, so you didn't watch the episode. Do you remember what it said on the shirts?
I just remember the devils.
Okay, so it said hell on the shirts.
Oh, okay.
So like when it came to like that kind of stuff, Cartoon Network censored it out. And it made it like HFIL or something like that to kind of like they digitally censored out a couple things when it came to blood.
Welcome
and
to
then
high
they just
school.
kind of cut out some of like the boob grabbing,
So,
kind of like the most
and-
like the inappropriate stuff.
And I'm guessing the creepy old man and the blue-haired girl and like the bald
Bulma,
dude,
yeah.
all of them were from Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Okay.
So Bulma, Krillin, Masaroshi, like they were all from Dragon Ball.
Okay.
And like you learn about like his tail and everything like that, like Goku's tail, it gets chopped off, and like so you
They should have a recap episode.
most of the
Dragon
time
Ball.
when you go into these like this show, it aired at the exact same time that the other show aired.
Oh,
So
okay.
it kind of went
kept
into
going.
it kind of went into
kind of
like
like
a
the
different
first and
story.
second season, because whatever the end of the season was, it like
Yeah.
started to bleed into the next one. Mm-hmm. But it's weird, like, and it said like 5 years later. I really thought I was watching the wrong season because I was like, and then because it was
But the thing is, it just picks up right where
Right.
Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball left
I guess
off.
that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But, man. Okay.
So I understood it, and because like I've seen these characters, and it was just kind of interesting watching them grow again. Like
Yeah.
because again I watched it when I was 12,
Right.
but so it was interesting.
There were some odd characters. You had the guy with the 3 eyes.
Tien,
Yeah.
Okay, why does he have 3 eyes?
it's never really explained, honestly.
And then
she's a character that has 3 guys.
And
man.
then, is that like his lover, the little clown dude?
Yeah. What was it?
Chatsu.
Yeah, is that
Who,
like
did,
his...
who literally did nothing. Half the people that died in this show helped nobody because they're like, yeah, they got him, and then like the smoke settles,
So-
and there he is. He looks fine.
You have the Goku lookalike. What's his name? Yamcha.
Okay.
You have
Yamcha, yeah.
you have Tien, the three-eyed weirdo, and then you have his love slave Chaozu.
It's not his love slave, but
Okay. Then what is he to them?
I don't really know.
Is that
It's
his
like his
brother?
friend.
Is he in Dragon Ball?
He is in Dragon Ball. They come to so they kind of all meet all these characters and it's called a World Martial Arts Tournament, and like the world we'll get to that.
But
We'll
it's
get
supposed to
like, later
be
seasons.
Earth.
It is Earth.
But why do they have powers? Do they know martial arts so well?
So yeah,
that they
it's
gain
like
powers?
it's almost like a type of martial arts.
And there's
where-
dragons because there's Dragon Balls,
Yeah.
which
so
and Dragon Balls bring people back to life, or you get a wish.
you get a wish. You
Right.
can do any wish that you
okay.
want to.
Okay.
The Dragon Ball, like, it's so weird. The roots of the Dragon Ball, the storyline.
From a green
So,
dude.
thank God for your filler website, because the scene that really threw me off when I was there was a couple episodes here and there that I said to fill, and then there was like a 7 or 8 episode gap, and I was like, I kind of feel bad that I'm skipping this. But the last episode I watched was
kinda picked up.
Goku getting on Snake Way, and then I turned on the next episode, and he was still on Snake Way like 8 episodes later, and he wasn't coming back.
So
I was very disappointed to find out that once he got where he had to come back.
Yeah.
And I was there 4 or 5 episodes of him.
So eventually Goku, he gets like a power that he can just kind of transport like to different places like automatically. So
Who
it
needs
doesn't-
an
So it
Nimbus?
doesn't have to go through.
So this is like
that kind of
Power
stuff,
Rangers,
but-
where they just conveniently get new powers.
Yeah, you gave Justin a lot of crap last week about
About new powers. What new power?
It wasn't
What
new
power is
powers,
it?
but
Like,
it was
when
like
did he learn the Kaioken? Like there was like a
Earth,
1
Wind,
minute
and Fire or
it was-
whatever.
yeah, it was like a 1 minute like thing. It's like, okay, now you know it. Now go kill a guy with it. Okay. Oh, chase this monkey. Okay, now
See,
you
but
can do it. Things.
At least the thing when it comes to this show, they have to train for that ability. In Power Rangers, you just get it.
That's true. Somebody has it.
Although-
You
Yeah,
you have it,
but-
you give it to someone else, and you automatically have that
but
new
these
power.
people have powers, and then they
It's
but they don't use it till it's dire. They could have used it early on,
Well,
and that was your complaint about is that they could have just gotten the Megazords,
Yeah.
and stomped. A lot of these
See-
powers they could have just used.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to,
It's-
and it shows it when it comes to the Kaioken that it uses a lot of energy. Just
Right.
like when it, because, alright, so you were talking about Nimbus, the flying
Right.
cloud. The reason he wasn't flying is because he doesn't know how to fly that fast enough. I was thinking this too. It was either two things. He didn't know how to fly as fast as Nimbus yet, or that he didn't want to waste the energy to fly to that specific area because he's about to fight two Saiyans that...
Well, it should have been said.
Do they ever?
I know, it's like previous knowledge that I already
Do they ever
know.
explain why these humans are able to do these, to have these powers? Like,
Well, in
because
Dragon Ball, because Krillin's a human. And Krillin's he's the most powerful human when it comes to the Dragon Ball.
I don't know how
series.
he didn't die at all at some point.
He dies eventually.
Because he's pretty useless.
How old
Spoil.
is he supposed to be? Like the same age?
Krillin, he's
Yeah.
the same age as
Just bald,
Goku.
just bald and small.
He's the same age as Goku.
And then the Goku lookalike, the Yamcha guy, he was useless too. He's the first one who died from
Yeah.
from the little green
I-
guys.
Yeah,
Yamcha-
the little
he's
green
a
guys
tool.
killed
Yamcha's a tool.
The
And,
whole-
like,
I barely even knew him.
Yeah.
He died.
I mean, you get to know him when it comes again Dragon Ball. Like you have to kind of see.
I'm like, oh,
this-
there's a guy who died. Well, I guess
whole-
I feel
But
sorry for
see,
you.
the thing is, I watched Dragon Ball Z before I watched Dragon Ball because I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Z came on before, like on Toonami when it came to Cartoon Network before Dragon Ball did. And I watched both of them on Toonami, and I was confused like you guys were when I was first watching this when I was like 12 or 13.
So last week you're talking about Dragon Ball, and maybe I misunderstood, but you said something along the lines of, "Oh man, it gets so much better with Kai."
No, he said it got better.
I said Kai.
Are you talking about the Kai he meets?
No,
Because
No.
because they were talking about Kai, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
Dragon
cool.
Ball Z
now
Kai-
Now we're about to
Okay,
get
so
going."
Dragon Ball Z Kai is a remake of what we just watched.
Oh, okay.
And they add different dubs to it to kind of make the story a little bit better.
Oh, I heard about
So
redubs.
all the
Yeah.
fillers that you miss, they take every single one of those shows out.
Good.
And
Okay.
like all the fillers when it comes to maybe some of the show fillers, they take those out too.
Okay.
So it cuts the season like in almost half. Just got mad.
Right, so
It makes total sense. But okay, but here's the thing.
But it's meant for kids. The Kai version is.
Uh-huh.
I like this version a lot
a
better
little more
because
adult.
it's a little bit more adult. It kind of has a little bit more adult humor to it.
Right.
fall asleep faster.
But I was like,
Which what?
you fell asleep faster.
Fall asleep faster.
But seriously,
Whatever.
I was like, King Kai, here we go. What they're talking about, and then what was that? Old dude, he like slurred his words. He literally did nothing. Why did he go to the house? Oh, he got it. He got stronger. That's right. The gravity made him stronger.
So this King Kai dude is literally a
And
god.
you're trying to train it 10 times on gravity.
Yeah,
So yeah, so this guy was literally a god, but he couldn't go down and just smite Vegeta and Nappa. Vegeta and Nappa were stronger than him.
Who's a god?
King Kai.
They said it in the episode. King Kai's not strong enough to do that.
That's what I'm
the
saying. If
Saiyans
he's
are
a
stronger than
so
him.
yeah, so a god is less strong than
He's not a god. He's a kami. He's a Kai. I'm sorry.
he lives in.
There's
like,
a bunch
heaven.
of different
He's a
Kais.
Kai, and his name is Kai.
Hi, I'm Kai Kai.
You'll learn later.
King Kai.
You'll learn later that there's a bunch of Kais.
Okay.
There's Supreme Kai.
So
I don't want to learn. Later.
another question I have: Who's the little fat guy who watches and is like a coward, but then he kind of does like okay, so Goku comes back. Okay, first let me tell you fight scene.
Do you want to tell like the story behind what you're trying to
Yeah,
ask?
I want to tell you what I thought the story was, and you
Okay.
can tell me if I'm accurate here.
Okay.
The guy comes down, Raditz, right?
Yeah.
Goku says, or Raditz tells Goku he's his brother.
Kakarot.
Right. His name is Kakuwatz, and he's his brother from a different place. Somehow he got there, hurt his head, and became good. Goku.
Yeah. Yeah.
He kills Raditz, doesn't he? Goku? No.
Well, Piccolo
kills
officially-
Raditz and Goku.
and
officially kills Raditz.
And Goku. But nobody's concerned about Goku dying.
Officially, like we're keeping count.
Because he's never been wished back. And you can only be wished back once by the Dragon Balls. You gotta
Yes.
collect all 7. And so everybody knows he's going to be gone for a year. Because that's when the other 2 are coming. Vegeta and the other guy who is
Nappa.
real annoying.
Yep.
Okay? And then, so he has a year to get to King Kai in heaven. because he has a halo, so it's heaven. And to learn,
Yet Kai is not a god.
Kai's not a god,
And can't defeat Vegeta and Nappa.
Okay, and then so anyways, while he's gone, the fight starts early with Nappa
And Vegeta.
and Vegeta,
Vegeta, yeah.
and man, it's slow. They all should have brought picnic baskets and watched because only 2 fought at one time, and it really bothered me.
If they were so strong,
really bothered me.
If they were so strong, why wouldn't it be the smartest thing to do would be just to went boop and kill them all.
It happens a lot because again, it's
Right, they drag it out.
They're trying to drag it out because they're trying to make it into a show and they're writing it off of.
And I will say
they're writing
that
it off of the manga.
And I will say that Vegeta killing Nappa was pretty cool. Like that's a cool part.
I was just waiting for Vegeta to start fighting because whenever I watched the show, Vegeta was my favorite, and I knew he was like a big, strong dude. It just made me so mad that made so stupid decisions when they fight. Like,
let's talk about the people that died that didn't have to die. Like the little clown, the sex slave.
No, I said love slave.
Shatsu.
Love slave, sorry. It's the same thing. Okay, and then the 3-eyed guy. They all try to do like, okay, here comes my one shot. It takes a lot of energy, and then they hit him. Smoke clears. He's fine. Not hurt at all.
Well,
Why aren't they dodging?
One of the reasons why they want to show their power, and one of the reasons
I'm a
why
fire
I
with my
liked the
laser.
show when I was little, like I knew they were gonna die, like I knew it was coming. But one of the reasons I liked the show is because I didn't know they were gonna die. Like those were main characters that
in Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball
Right.
that they died in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like Chatsu died in Dragon Ball and he got wished back.
Right.
But I didn't know they were gonna get killed off at this point. Like
Uh-huh.
that was. And I kind of like those type of shows.
I guess
where
that would be cool.
They're really
You don't know
They
if
don't
they're
really.
safe. Yeah.
You don't know if they're gonna kill off one of your main characters that you like.
I'll be honest.
I didn't like any of the characters.
I'll be honest. I'm really glad Mr. Mime died. Okay.
Mr. Mime, is that the sex slave?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Just coming up with different names.
Because I don't.
Oh, speaking of Mr.
I honestly
Mime,
don't know how he was able to blow himself up.
They're all honestly able to just kind of burst the energy to blow themselves up, and you learn that later on. But
Why?
they all have that kind of power.
There is a part that I laughed out loud at, and it was towards the end when I think they already killed off Vegeta, or he got in the ship, right? Left.
Yeah.
And they say something about getting a ship to go find Piccolo's family or whatever to do something. I don't remember. But the point is, he says something, oh, don't worry, we'll ask Mr. Popo. And then a guy comes out. And if you guys don't know what Mr. Popo looks like, please look him up.
Mr. Popo, he's a character.
I'm gonna assume
Alright,
he
so
was.
here.
I'm gonna assume he was also censored.
Alright, so I'm okay.
Pretty kind of racist, honestly.
Very
Mr.
racist.
Popo, there was he is a very black character. He's a very dark character,
Right.
And he's
Dark.
drawn in pitch black.
Yes.
There was some type of when it comes to the animation team, they said that was kind of too racist, so they colored him in super blue.
So later when
you should see pictures. He's like neon blue, and you can kind of see him through his clothes.
Uh-huh.
It's so weird.
Oh,
but-
gosh. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Poe was the character. He's throughout the whole Dragon Ball Z. He's kind of creepy.
So
but
was he in Dragon Ball?
I don't remember, honestly.
If that was the first time he was ever
No,
introduced.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh my god, alright.
Because Kami's in... And Kami, he's another character in the show.
Do you have some more fun
The
facts?
old Piccolo. All right, that's the old Piccolo, Kami.
Piccolo and Kami are kind of one person. It's confusing.
I'm just saying he looks like Piccolo, but he's
That's
old.
why when Piccolo died, Kami died. Because they're kind of one person. And if Piccolo dies, the Dragon Balls don't exist because Kami made the Dragon Balls. It's
All
weird.
right.
It's weird.
Okay.
It's a long storyline.
Obviously.
Alright.
But
Let's have some of your fun facts, John.
you want to know some fun facts? No, okay, so
Fun facts! Woohoo! The fun facts! Woohoo!
Alright, so the
one of these is
Dragon-
gonna stick. One of these
So
themes.
I'll tell you about how Dragon Ball Z was kind of created. Dragon Ball Z, when it came to Goku, he was created off this guy that was called King Monkey, and that's where they kind of get the tail for all the Saiyans. And when it came to the Dragon Ball story, it's super weird because it's a story that was written 200 years ago, and it's about this princess that has sex with her father's dog,
Keep going.
and she gets impregnated with like this jewelry,
Oh, God.
I'm listening.
and she has birth to 8 balls of jewelry, and they just shoot up into the sky and like spread everywhere, and that's where the Dragon Balls came from. And Toriyama, to kind of get away from that story, he made
Slower.
7 Dragon Balls instead of 8. So it's super fucking weird, man. It's super weird.
Wow.
It's super weird.
Okay, I know.
But that's where they get the animation where, like,
I like to hear more of this
after
story.
the dragon, like, grants the wish, like, the Dragon Balls kind of go up into the air and shoot in every single direction.
Right.
They got it from that story because that's what happened to the jewelry.
So technically, you have infinite wishes if you wanted.
What are you talking about? No.
So if I just collected the Dragon Balls over and over and over, I could basically
There's
get
only
any
a
wish
certain
I want.
amount?
Yeah, but no, you can
Oh.
get as many wishes as you want to, but they're super hard to collect.
What about, can you just have sex with the dog? Is that we just established here?
I mean, if you have sex with, just have sex with the pig that's in the show and just see what happens.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that was another part. So there's a pig, and then all of a sudden he starts talking like a man.
I forget his name, but yeah, he's not a really.
So you
important character.
you have a creepy clown love slave. You have a pig. What else is weird?
Oh, so much.
Masaroshi.
You have the three-eyed guy.
Well, and every time they show a crowd, it's like man, woman, bear. man. Like, what's up with
Yeah,
that?
there's a couple of those things in this. They're never really explained, like dinosaurs. Like dinosaurs are in this kind of universe or whatever, and it's not really ever explained why these creatures are still here. But
All right, I want to talk about favorite characters because there were some good
I
characters.
definitely have
in
the least
this.
favorite character. All right,
Okay.
favorite character.
you have favorite.
I
you
wanna
have favorite
start-
Show?
Oh, favorite episode?
Yeah, the hates about the show. The LHs.
No.
Oh, the love hates. Oh, yes.
Let's do
All
our
right, come on,
characters.
episode? Okay, let's do characters first.
Okay,
Love
do
hates.
characters,
Love
we'll
hates
do
on the
characters.
characters.
All right, I'm going
Okay.
to start because mine kind of goes off into a tangent about characters. I like Vegeta the most. Okay,
In this season, or just in general? Because
Just in general,
Because
I
of your
don't-
nostalgia.
I always liked Vegeta in general. I like
you
him in
think
the
you're a
season
badass
too.
and you're not?
Yes, pretty much. The reason I like Vegeta the most is because he actually tries to do something. He projects as a warrior most of the time. Because the Saiyans are supposed to be like the ultimate warriors, right? And there's nothing wrong with Goku, but he's just a really, in my opinion, really bland protagonist, if that makes sense. Like, we've heard of him before. You know, he's kind of a blank slate. Anybody could step into him. You know, he eats a lot.
Could you do it, Justin?
He's silly.
Could you step into his shoes?
I could. I
Really?
could be Goku.
Okay.
Okay, I definitely eat a lot. All right, but Vegeta just kind of gives off that, because he's a prince, right? Isn't he Prince Vegeta?
Yeah.
You know, of the planet Vegeta.
I don't know that yet.
Of the planet
Yeah,
Vegeta.
you do.
Okay.
Get this. His name is Prince
You
Vegeta.
forgot it, quote unquote.
His name is Prince Vegeta of the planet Vegeta. So that's confusing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he gives off that aura as a warrior, and he acts like one. You know, but what really bothered me
He's cocky.
was when they talked about power levels with it.
The power levels
okay,
are
so-
very confusing.
Yeah, honestly, the writer Toriyama, he regretted doing all the power levels because they were just super confusing. So in after the Frieza saga, like the next saga, you don't hear about the power levels anymore.
So basically, the higher your power level, the quicker you are, is what I got from it.
The more powerful you are, yeah.
And
So that includes quickness.
And apparently, you can just, sit there and look like you're constipated and power yourself up.
Yeah, okay.
Man, there was a lot of like screaming.
up.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you attack somebody?
There's a
doing
lot of
that?
power. There's a lot of powering up, and there's also a lot of like getting hit and just being like on the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
So one of the voices one time when it came to, because you have the voice, I forget his name. It's like Neil or something like that. He's the voice of Goku when it comes to the English version. And when he was turning like Super Saiyan one time, and you'll learn about Super Saiyan like later on. But when he was turning Super Saiyan one time, when he was powering up, he passed out because he was like screaming so loud.
That's incredible.
The thing I don't like the most about the fights, though, when it comes to power levels, is it's just like the Power Ranger thing we talked about in the last episode. Why in the world are you not attacking? Like, he'll
Yeah.
sit up there, like, they'll sit there and, like, with their hands and put all this ball of energy, and the other guy will just stand there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of just
I'll-
standing there. Like literally, it's one versus one every single time, and everybody else is kind of sitting and watching.
Like, okay, hold still,
Well,
I'm going
when
to
it
take
came
30
to
minutes.
This, when it came to like this fight when it came to Vegeta and Nappa, like they weren't powerful enough to even take them on all at once.
But Raditz did that too. Raditz was like just stood there and didn't even dodge. Like, well, how in the world did Goku? How in the world was he able to keep him that not moving? You know what I'm saying? When he was in that lock, if Raditz is so much more powerful than Goku, he should be able to break that really easily.
Well, when it comes to Raditz, he's not as powerful as Vegeta and Nappa, and you'll learn this, I guess, like in later on, but he like missed.
Or we won't because we're never going to watch this again.
Hopefully we will.
But see, the issue... I get there's reasons behind it, but the issue was they made out Raditz to be so much stronger than Piccolo and Goku. Because at that point, Piccolo and Goku were the strongest on Earth, right?
Yeah.
They were the two top warriors. So if Raditz comes in and he's just like, laying shop and wood all over him, how in the world is Goku, who's already been, his ass has gotten kicked, to hell and high water, how is he able just to hold on to him, and then Piccolo is just able to...
Well, honestly... Raditz, he wasn't that much stronger than Goku and Piccolo. He was just kind of portraying that.
The issue is they made him out to be, though.
Right.
But he wasn't. Yeah, they did. But he honestly wasn't that much stronger than.
They made it way too one-sided because even when, because at least they showed that how strong Nappa and Vegeta were in that fight. Yeah, it was annoying that only went one-on-one. But if you really think about it, if that's the real world. You're just gonna go over there and just start, just whacking at him. Wailing. There's no reason why you just sit there. Vegeta obviously is going to sit there and make Nappa do it because that's below him. Because he's the prince, he's the strongest in the world.
I guess that character kind of makes sense.
All right, so what was your favorite character? Because Justin just described.
I had a tough decision on favorite character.
Really?
I had 3.
Oh, okay.
That I'm trying to decide.
Okay. I feel like this is a good thing though.
So the least annoying character to me was Krillin.
Is that why we're
He's
talking
so down
about...
to earth. I love Krillin.
Is that how we're talking about favorite, the least annoying?
Yeah, basically that's what it comes down to. I mean, he was normal.
Yeah.
He seemed normal.
And that's what he is. That's what he is through the whole entire series.
Solid character. I liked Goku towards the end when he started screaming. And maybe that's what you're talking about, like he passed out. Dude, that guy like when Vegeta had like his foot on him and when he was like yelling, I was like, at least his actor's like
Vegeta's like the giant ape.
Yeah, and it's like
crushing Goku's legs.
That was anyways, it was like but he was like screaming. I was like, this guy's acting his heart out. I kind of liked Goku. He was all right, but I think he has to go to Mr. Popo. Didn't say a word. Just stood there the whole time.
Well, okay. So, did you watch?
Please
did
Mr. Popo.
Did you watch the last 4 episodes that we were supposed to watch?
Yeah, I just didn't watch the very last episode.
Okay.
But it ended with them all on the ship going towards.
Yeah. So honestly, we weren't supposed to watch those last 4 episodes.
I didn't think so.
We were supposed to watch 1 through 35.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When it all got resolved. So Mr. Popo wasn't supposed to be in the first season. Because
you see him when Kami and Popo are training the rest of the fighters like Krillin and Yamcha.
Yeah.
He talks a little bit there, but anyway.
What was your favorite character, John?
It's hard because
it has to be sex slave, right?
I want to say, it's got to be the sex slave. No, I want to say it's Gohan, but he's so whiny throughout the whole.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being like this, and I don't know if it's just
because even when he gets done training, he's still whiny.
Yeah, because Vegeta, or I don't know who's coming. Nappa's coming at him, and he just kind of hides.
Yeah. Because how does that train? Piccolo just basically whoops his ass for a year.
Well,
I didn't watch the training.
You guys missed the training. So
Piccolo had some flashbacks in his episode where you kind of see it, but yeah.
So in the manga, they didn't have any of Gohan's training. They just kind of skipped ahead of that, and Piccolo trained him for a year.
Good.
Well, so honestly,
it sounds a lot better.
Well, if you think that's better, then you should watch Kai, because Kai just cuts out all that kind of stuff, and it relies a lot more on the manga than it does just the regular classic version, I guess you could say. But I would have to say Goku. Goku's my favorite character, but Goku's pretty much always. He's always up there.
Yeah,
Goku's just kind of too plain for me. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
but he's too perfect.
I have a question, kind of a little off subject, but so when I think of Dragon Ball Z from before I saw this show, I think of the blonde guy. Who's the blonde guy?
So
yellow hair. Is that okay? Well, I'll give it away.
Okay, so Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, like they're all Saiyans, and Saiyans have the ability to turn Super Saiyan later on in the
so
series.
they become Super Saiyan, they turn blonde.
And when they turn Super Saiyan, they turn blonde. It's kind of interesting about that too, because in the manga, when they turn blonde, the only reason they made them blonde is so they didn't have to color their hair in like dark.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it was just
Cost effective.
It was just like a time purpose.
All
Like-
these shows we watch are gonna be so cost effective.
Well, no, it wasn't the show. It was just the manga. The manga just they didn't want to spend time drawing in.
I see. Oh, the manga. Okay.
Yeah, so in the manga, they didn't want to spend time drawing in the dark hairs, so they made the hair blonde. Well, in the manga, they don't have to draw in their hair at all. They just kind of draw around the hair.
Gotcha.
And it was like Toriyama, because when it comes to a manga, the person that is like the writer of the manga, he also has to draw the manga too. So he didn't want to spend time doing that as well.
Gotcha.
It was just kind of time effective.
So let's do least favorite characters. I'm gonna go last on this.
Oh my God. Okay, my least favorite character, I guess, I hate to say it, it's Gohan.
Yeah.
He was just so whiny.
Which
he was
which was your
little,
favorite
and-
growing up?
Okay, so like later on, he does get really badass, but like in the Frieza saga, Gohan's my favorite character, and on 4. But
Okay.
what's yours?
I'm gonna have to say the dozens of characters we met and then died.
Even the sex slave.
Tien, the sex slave,
The Piccolo died. Did you
the
like
fake
Piccolo?
Goku.
Piccolo was pretty cool. I like Piccolo.
You like Piccolo?
Yeah.
Piccolo was pretty cool.
Piccolo was okay. I mean, I still don't know how beating a 5-year-old up is going to make him tougher. But once again, I'm not a superhuman who can shoot balls of energy out of their hands after looking like I'm constipated.
How'd you feel about Bulma and Chi-Chi?
Bulma and Chi-Chi, I didn't care about them because they were so annoying.
The mom, Chi-Chi. So here's my least favorite.
Bulma's
character.
my favorite. She walks around in underwear.
Oh yeah, so like are guys supposed to be
was
attracted
weird.
to
That
her?
was really weird.
All right, so let me tell you my least favorite character. So when I started watching it, it was Gohan. I was like, okay, this guy's whiny, right? But then he kind of toughened up, and I was like, okay, well, he has a story arc.
Yeah.
So
And you honestly miss most of his story when he kind of
right,
up.
but still, I mean, like he has a story arc, so I can't blame him for being annoying at first if he gets better.
Yeah.
And then it was Chi-Chi. But then I was like, like if I was a mom and it was my 5-year-old son about to die, I'd probably be freaking out and passing out all the time also. So then I really thought about it. And you know who character I
pass out? You'd be passing out if your team was in danger like that?
If I was watching on TV and I couldn't do anything about it, probably so.
Okay.
So I thought about it long and hard. And you know who the worst character of this entire show is? The narrator. What a dick. Every single episode, he says, next time, find out the
Dragon Ball
But he
Z."
lies. He was like, will Goku make it? Find out next time. But he doesn't. He's still on the freaking snake way trying to get down for like another 8 episodes. It's not the next episode. The narrator's the worst character ever.
I like the narrator.
But I liked
It's a
him
good
because-
voice. I miss his voice.
Okay, so let's do one of your favorite and least favorite episodes.
How'd you guys feel about the animation and like the dubbing?
Well, I didn't like it at first because I thought it came out I thought the Japanese version came out in the 90s, and for a 90s Japanese, I didn't think it was very good. When I found out it was in the 80s, I was a little bit more impressed.
Yeah.
Because it's not as good as like I compare it to like Pokemon, and it came out like around the same time. I don't think
Pokemon, I feel like Pokemon came out in like 2000s, I thought, didn't it?
No, it was like
97, 98.
Yeah.
Was it really?
That's
Yeah.
a whole nother...
Yeah, and so like it was 2 years earlier, but I thought the animation would be better. But once I found out it was like 80s, I thought it was fine.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the dubbing?
It didn't bother me. I think...
I think they did pretty good with it.
Yeah,
That was
it
I
did.
pretty
really
impressed.
couldn't tell.
I honestly, when I was little, because I didn't know what dubbing was when I was like
Yeah.
12 or 13, I thought that they just, because I knew it was first like written and like voiced in Japan, so I thought they just kind of like erased their mouths and just like did like different mouths for them.
Yeah.
because they did so
For
good.
every single frame.
For every single dude, I was 12. I didn't know, but for every single frame, I thought they just kind
That's
of.
what they did in 1884.
Shut up, man.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about? I mean, honestly, we can do favorite and least favorite episodes, but I do not remember episodes. It all blurs together.
We'll just do scenes. We'll do favorite scenes.
Okay.
All right, your one favorite scene. I'll go first. I think my favorite scene of it was when Vegeta was turned into the ape and just started, kicking the crap out of everything. I guess it's not really a scene. I guess it's more of an episode. But, he finally had to, go, okay, I'm done now. Oh, look, I don't need a moon. I have this special energy that I just made up out of, top of my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here you go. Because apparently also projection of the moon works. How does a projection of the moon work when there's some stupid moon energy that makes you into an ape? Anyways, but going off of that, I thought that was really cool because you saw Gohan was a lot more you could tell that he was very trained because he was in complete control of his form.
Yeah.
Gohan was all everywhere, so you could tell versus a trained Saiyan versus a little kid Saiyan how much of a difference there was.
And the Saiyans, when it comes to Nappa, Vegeta, and Raditz, they all had to go through special classes and special training when it came to all those kind of forms.
Could you imagine
the reason why Raditz is weak against his tail because he skipped all his tail classes or something like that.
Could you imagine Vegeta in school?
They explained it in the manga.
Could you imagine Vegeta in school? The teacher trying to tell him something. I am the Prince of Saiyans. You not tell me what to do.
You're very annoying. My favorite scene.
my favorite student.
He loves to say how he's the prince.
My favorite scene is when, and I'm really just because I was so fed up at this point because there's just so much traveling.
The end.
Yeah. No, it's when Goku finally got to the battle because
you knew shit was gonna go down.
I almost turned off and threw my remote whenever he got finally off the Snake Way after flying, and then they said, "Oh, he's still hundreds of miles away from the battle." Oh, great! There are 8 episodes of him traveling. Anyways, when he finally got there, no, he looked really cool though. He was floating above them. He landed on the. He looked pretty awesome.
He was
and that's why I like
him.
the fight scenes about this. And when it comes to the filler episodes, to me, they kind of make it more intense when the battle finally comes. So it's this huge, kind of drawn out thing. But then when it finally starts, it's awesome.
I think the lead up to each battle is cool. I think the actual battle is okay. I didn't know.
Well, okay, so again, it's Vegeta.
Right.
It's not one of the main.
Yeah, it's mostly
battles.
Just him being really, really fast.
If we do watch Frieza, though, it's kind of bad. If we do watch Frieza, the Frieza Saga,
Is that the next season?
The battle when it comes to Goku and Frieza is 4 hours long.
Oh, of course it is.
What?
Why not?
It's longer.
Of course.
It's longer than I think they said it's longer than 2 Harry Potter movies put together.
Really?
If you just watch the fight.
I'd rather watch 5 Harry Potter movies. To be honest with you.
Good stuff.
It's gonna be great if we watch it. It's gonna be great.
John, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene? Ooh.
Obviously, it was the Bowman
There's
underwear.
so many
you
good
kept bringing
ones.
that up.
I brought it up once. And
Was it
weird.
the sex slave? You already
No,
established.
golly. Ooh, favorite scene. I like the Gohan. I honestly like the fillers when it comes to some of kind of Gohan growing when it comes to becoming a fighter. But
Okay.
He's trying to back it up to make it seem like it better.
I'm not watching the fillers.
You should.
I'm not watching
They're
it.
great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, and I like what you were saying when Goku finally showed up to the battle. And it's kind of intense and he looks different. They have all these different animators when it came to the very beginning of the episode or the very beginning of the seasons to the very end, and you could tell the difference when it comes to
They made him
the
look
Goku when he was fighting Raditz and then the Goku when he's fighting.
and Gohan. He looked.
Oh,
more,
yeah.
He was definitely more muscular by the time.
Yeah, 5-year-old with that
Hey.
muscular structure.
You had a question about the tail that you asked me one
Well,
time.
because it's not explained. You said it's explained later. But so the tail seemed very convenient to me on when they had a tail, when they did not have a tail. And you said, and at some point, and it also did not make sense to me when tails were were in pain or when they weren't. And you said it's all explained later.
Well, okay, so the reason why some Saiyans they'll get hurt if you grab their tail is because they are not trained to have their tail grabbed yet. And in Dragon Ball, Goku, he kind of evolves from that type of weakness, and Krillin tries to grab his tail one time when they were fighting, and it doesn't work. And again, with Raditz, he doesn't know how to control that kind of weakness. And so when it comes to the tail and it just appearing out of nowhere, the Saiyans, they usually have their tail appear when they really need it, when they really need to transform.
I thought it's
into
just
the
wrapped
monkey.
around their waist.
Well, when it comes to the Saiyans, like Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, they wrap their tail around their waist because when they go to like a planet that is like a foreign planet, or when they're in a battle, they don't want to get their tail chopped off. Because if they get their tail chopped off, or if they lose their tail, then they lose that huge giant ape power. So they
But
wrap it around.
if you're young enough, you can grow it back, like Gohan's did.
Yeah.
Or is that explained later? I got my hands up and I'm waiting.
I know you're like, is it explained later? I don't remember if it's explained in the show. I know it's explained like in other types of media when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. I don't
so
even
there's
know if it's
extra
explained in
stuff I
the
have to
manga.
read?
It might be explained in like different types of events that happen, but yeah, it's for like if your body senses that you need to transform into the ape when you're in danger, then that's when the tail grows.
That's convenient.
It has nothing to do with like Power Rangers or anything like that.
It's a very Power Ranger-like move.
No.
Do you have any more fun facts you want to share? Because I was thinking about
From the
kind of
1800s.
explaining
Shut up.
our scoring and stuff.
All right,
and
okay,
whatnot.
so I wanted to mention this. We can't just... did you guys know about the meme, the 9,000 meme? When it came to, I guess, like the early 2000s?
No.
You guys know anything about that?
No, what are you talking about?
So, okay, so in the... When Vegeta finally sees Goku, and Goku's powering up, like, he says it's like, it's over 9,000, and he, like, kind of crushes his scanner. You guys know that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna be
I
honest
caught
with
it.
you.
You caught it?
I think
Okay,
So
like,
iconic.
all right, so when you guys know what memes are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it came to
What are memes,
It's over.
John?
let me explain. No, I'm joking. All right, so when it came to it's over 9,000, it's probably the most famous like meme like ever when it comes to Dragon Ball
Okay.
Z.
Okay.
Not ever like
Okay.
when it comes to memes. When
Right.
it comes to Dragon Ball Z.
John is our meme expert on the show.
I am. No, okay, so when it comes to the 9,000, it's over 9,000 meme, like, it's not even correct. It's over 8,000, and it's, like, the most famous saying out of all Dragon Ball Z ever.
And it's still wrong.
And it's still wrong,
Nice.
because it got dubbed wrong.
That's
Not Chatsu, my love slave, don't die.
No, it has nothing to do with Chatsu.
There's always something there.
I
Justin,
really
agree.
don't know who Chatsu is, honestly. Like, I don't really understand his character. I don't remember if it's, like...
I don't understand half the
Dragon Ball.
characters
Yeah.
and why they're there.
I don't understand Tien and why he has another eye. I don't really understand.
And look, if anybody talks to us and wants to flame out over, oh, you didn't watch Dragon Ball.
I did watch Dragon Ball.
No. I'm talking about for me and Chris. All right, I'm not going back and watching Dragon Ball because if it was as slow as Dragon Ball Z,
Oh, it's...
You said
That's
it was
terrible.
worse.
It's...
Last
yeah,
week you said
it's
it was
worse.
Oh, God.
It's worse.
I might as well just
It's
Wikipedia
even-
them.
It's... Dragon Ball is a little bit more crude, too, than Dragon Ball Z.
So
What do you mean
more-
crude?
Like,
Is there more
like
like
some of the jokes...
boob
like, it's
squeezing and...
yeah, and it's a little bit more...
Family friendly.
It's not family... It's not that at all. No, it's not. When it comes to, like, the manga, too, when it comes to Dragon Ball, that's bad. It has, like, a bunch of violence in it. It even has nudity in it. It's weird.
These people seem very odd that created this show, especially because it's made
I
after
love
a-
them.
All right.
They created my favorite show.
All right, so let's talk a little...
We know
I
what
guess-
kind of person John
I
is.
think we're at the end. I think we know everybody's going to vote. We can probably stop it now.
How'd you guys like the villains of the show?
I said Vegeta was my
Vegeta
favorite.
was cool. The other two were not great.
Nappa
You
and
didn't like
Raditz
you didn't like the
sucked.
fight scenes either?
Yeah.
Eh.
I could do that.
It's the whole show, man. It's what made the show popular.
So like I said, this show could be watched. First off, okay, let's do this. This is a fun little game. So there's 40 episodes. How many episodes do you think this whole story could have been wrapped up in?
20.
15.
I would say probably 15, maybe 10. they skimped.
If you just gave me...
You gotta have a little bit of character development.
We watched 30, and I felt like half of this is ridiculous. You could have a little character development. Character development could have been the first 10, and the fight could have been 5.
You just said that you didn't like the first.
John, obviously
I did
obviously
episodes.
all you need is boob squeezing and character development.
That's not what I mean.
and a sex slave.
That's what I like about the show.
Look, the issue with this show was the terrible pacing.
Yeah.
The pacing is the issue with the show. Yeah, we're destroying all the little funny things to do with it, but all shows have those issues. You know, the pacing of the show was terrible. Yes, I get that it's because of the manga and everything, but the problem was it was way too dragged out for me. Especially if I'm a kid. You know, if I'm 11 or 12, I don't know how. I guess it was every week you got a new one. But man, I'd be so pissed off if I was there. They're just standing there and they're like, next time on Dragon Ball Z, they didn't even fight.
Yeah, and like next time on Dragon Ball Z, this person's coming back, and they do not come back for another 4
or 5 episodes.
Yeah. No, it made me frustrated when I was a kid, and when it came to Toonami, it came on every single like weekday, so it wasn't like prolonged where it came to every single week.
Right.
So I didn't have that like long of a wait, but it kind of made me upset that like if I could watch Monday and then they wouldn't even get to what I wanted to watch until
Till 2 weeks later.
until like next Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah, so that it made me upset, and that's why they came up with Kai, because Kai kind of gets rid of all
Good.
that.
Should have watched Kai instead.
I don't like Kai. I like
All right, so
character development.
Let's wrap up. This is getting pretty long. Right now, the standings are Justin has -1 because he forfeited Power Rangers, and me and John did not like it. So,
spoiler
so
alert.
here we
Dragon
go.
Ball Z was so much better than.
Don't
than
sell us
Power
on this,
Rangers.
John. We have our
It was
views.
so much better.
No, it was not better than Power Rangers. No,
Do we even really need to say?
I would watch another 3 episodes or another 3 seasons of Power Rangers. Okay, Justin, you go first.
All right, so
I hate you guys. Whatever. It's my favorite show.
there were some good things about the show. Okay, the
Some great
fights.
things about the show. That's what you're trying to say, right?
You know, John, you said you wouldn't get so touchy about it.
I'm not.
John's
I'm
really
not touchy.
touchy.
I'm not touchy, man.
John's touchier than I was.
Not
And
touchy.
y'all, I want to say they predicted that I would get really, really touchy about Power Rangers, and John is getting really touchy right now.
I didn't think I was gonna feel this emotional.
See?
about Dragon Ball Z.
So there were some really good parts to it. Man, it was
All of
it was just so slow. Okay, I couldn't sit there for 40 episodes. I'm gonna be honest, I skipped some episodes that were probably canon.
Dude.
Okay,
That's not the place of the.
Why?
I'm gonna be honest. All right, it was near the last ones because
The
I
narrator
saw it
tells
was,
you
It's
everything.
not cool,
fine.
man. Not cool.
but it was. Man, the pacing is off. I don't know a lot of the characters. They don't do a good job of giving you backstory on those
No
characters.
backstory.
Like at least with Gohan and Goku, you kind of knew. Okay,
No idea. I didn't know until the narrator announced it.
But yeah,
I
but
didn't
at
know
least-
Gohan was Goku's son until the second
but
episode.
at least they told you. I had no idea who the Mr. Mime guy was, who the three-eyed guy
Mime.
was, the sex slave guy.
Okay.
I'm going between names here. I'm
Mr.
sure.
Popo.
Okay, I had no idea who Fake Goku was.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why they were there, and I didn't care that they died, and they were the first ones to fight, and that took 5 episodes.
Right.
So this is a huge no for me.
Well, when it came to the audience, they
So
were
trying to be the
they were shooting for the same people that were
John,
doing for
I have
Dragon Ball.
spoken.
They were
This is a
watching for
no.
Dragon
He's
Ball.
still trying to sell.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My view is,
sorry.
look, honestly, when it comes to overall story and premise of the show, it was better than Power Rangers. It had a
Because
better,
there's an actual story.
It's an actual story, because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not just.
but the payoff was not worth it.
Just because there's a story doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's good.
I felt like
I thought it was a great story.
I felt like I was like going to work every time I turned it on. I was like, oh, I gotta watch another
This is our job.
2 hours
This
of
is
this.
our job,
Yeah.
Chris.
We're getting
Yeah,
paid a
rate
lot of
this
money.
podcast.
We're getting paid a lot of money for this. If no one knew, the 5 of you that are listening right now.
So you,
That's generous.
so you didn't like it?
So thank you for my
You didn't
to our
like the
5
story?
fans.
I enjoyed the story. I'm glad I saw one season. I don't want to see another season. It's a no.
John, what did you?
But-
John, obviously, what
It
did you
doesn't.
think?
It doesn't matter what we think, John. You choose. And if you think it gets better, if you think it's
does
worth
get
us
better.
watching it again,
It does get better.
we can watch it again.
If you are our friend, John, you know what we want you to say.
But the original.
After today, you're not my friend.
The original intent of this podcast was if anybody says yes, then we watch the next season the next week. But we're not doing that anymore because I can't do it. If we watch another season of Dragon Ball Z, it has to be like 4
honestly,
or 5
I don't know if
weeks.
I can watch another season of Dragon Ball Z right now.
Right,
I feel like I
so-
need a little
so
break in between.
We would need definitely
Because
need to
I
watch
binge
something
watched
else.
this thing.
So all 5 of you vote for us, okay? And vote and see if you want us to do Dragon Ball Z later on.
But either way, we have to know if it's even open ended. So John, you make the decision. You tell us what you thought. If it was as good as you remember it being, what you want us to do.
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z was as awesome as I remember it. Oh my god, it was. I loved it, honestly. I love going back to it. I love watching the whole...
I think John's going to be that guy when we do shows. Y'all thought that was probably going to be me, wasn't it?
No, it's crazy how nostalgia really does blind people.
Because at least I was able to admit it was bad.
I can admit certain parts were bad, because Gohan was bad, the fillers were very long, but it's my childhood. It's everything I remember it being like back then, and I know it probably blinds me, and I know it's probably horrible.
Okay.
If I was in your shoes,
I need you to
I'd
stop
probably
using...
think this show was absolute shit. But
I need you to stop saying probably.
okay,
It is. And you would. Alright, so what do you...
I'd probably think this is bad, but I like it. I want to watch another season.
Okay.
It gets
God.
better.
Okay. So, points stay the same. So good. I think how many points are going to change. Alright, so we're going to talk about what we're going to do next week.
All right, so
We can talk about what we're gonna do, and we can talk about what we're gonna do, like kind of past next week, and what we're gonna start doing, like from now on.
So yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna do a TV show next week. It's gonna be my turn. So we're gonna do the first season of Boy Meets World, which I'm gonna tell you right now, we're watching all 7, man. All 7 seasons. First season's rough. It's a little bit more corny. Kind of like what I like to say about Boy Meets World is it starts out like Full House, and it becomes a little bit more like an actual.
Now, John,
TV
have you
show.
seen all the seasons?
Have you seen Boy Meets World? Are you a
The
fan?
Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
I've like sprinkles. All right, so when
I know me and Chris have watched all 7 seasons.
when I was younger, I would come over to Chris's house sometimes, and he would put on his favorite show of, I guess, that week or month or whatever, and he would make me watch it, and I thought it was
I
okay.
remember this. Okay.
Oh, he definitely made me watch it. I remember.
I wish I was there.
We would go.
Justin
we
was
would watch it
invited.
on that big TV you had like upstairs, like in your hallway.
Yeah. I'm sorry I made
But-
you watch Boy Meets World.
It was.
I don't
You
remember
made me
this.
watch Boy Meets World, and I would be like, "Yeah, okay, that's kind of
Cool.
funny." And you would be in your corner, like cracking up.
It's a great show.
Like, see, it's just like the random lines that you're like, "Oh, that was my favorite line of the episode."
That's
It
how
was like,
that's
"Oh,
how it
cool,
usually
man."
goes when any of us show each other a show.
Yeah.
And one of us will be cracking up in the corner, the other one's like, "What is this?"
Oh, good.
Is that what you guys did?
That's pretty normal.
For Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Yeah. It's
pretty
pretty
normal
episode.
for-
I was very
I mean,
excited.
I wasn't
normal for
cracking
us.
up, but I was in awe. I was like, "Oh my god, this is great." This is
All right,
great,
so
guys.
we're gonna do Boy Meets World next, and
Season
then
1,
we're gonna
right.
do a movie or a
Right.
game. We haven't decided yet.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of split up the seasons a little bit in between for a couple reasons.
Yeah.
One, it's good to get some variety, and also it takes a lot of time.
It's very hard to binge watch a whole season
Right.
in a week.
Right. But we
So,
have
like when it comes to our jobs and everything.
we have a list of shows and TV, and I mean, list of movies and stuff, and we have a lot of stuff on the plate. And I think we'll also something we can kind of do that'd be kind of cool is if it's like a reboot or something is coming out, like I don't know, like if they ever make a space
Reboot Dragon Ball Z.
no.
They made a Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, apparently it was terrible. If apparently they're planning on
It was
making a
terrible.
Space Jam with LeBron James. If that ever actually happens, then we can like watch Space Jam that week.
I
You know
loved
what I mean?
Space Jam when I was little.
Yeah, I remember liking it too. So we'll do stuff like that. Wow, how about that Goku, huh? Anyways, guys.
That's the worst intro to a liner, and you're keeping that. If I come back and this is edited out,
So we
Goku was pretty cool, guys. He was pretty cool.
alright, so we accidentally forgot to say this. So we turned on the podcast and we turned it back on. So yeah, you can reach us at the Gmail, anothermanspod@gmail.com, or the Twitter, anothermanspod.
And the Instagram is AMN Podcast. That's Another Man's Nostalgia Podcast.
and you can tweet us what other shows you want us to watch.
Send us some recommendations of anything. Whether you don't like the podcast, I mean, that'd be hard.
If you guys don't want us to do Boy Meets World, we won't.
Yeah, but we are. I don't care what y'all say. Anyways, and like I say, the best thing y'all can do is just tell somebody about the podcast if you like it. Thanks for listening. If you guys are listening, if you're not, it doesn't really matter. We're just doing this.
Thank you to all 5 of you.
all 5 of you. Hi, Mom. And we're just gonna keep on doing this because
Your mom wouldn't listen to this.
probably not.
Your mom, will
say
probably,
she did.
your mom will probably be like, "Why are they talking about boobs?"
Like most of my friends, they'll listen and say they listen, but they won't listen.
I mean, I don't even listen to this podcast.
It's pretty nerdy.
I do.
Every
Every
week.
day. Right before I go to sleep. It's good to hear my voice.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys, and see you next week.
See ya.